So today I'm talking about a Toyota with the P0349 code, what it is and how you go about fixing it. So what is a Toyota P0349 code? Well, it's a camshaft position sensor A circuit intermittent. And what does this mean? Well, the onboard computer uses the camshaft position sensor to know the location of the camshaft as it spins. It uses this for timing, and it's seeing an error inside the circuit, so it has to be troubleshooted to know why. And the two main causes of this is going to be either the camshaft position sensor or in the wiring. And Toyotas can have one camshaft position sensor, or they could have two. And since this code says sensor A, then it very likely is going to have two sensors on the vehicle. And so most people go ahead and swap out the sensor, and if that doesn't solve the problem, then they go ahead and check the wiring. But the wiring is not difficult to understand and to check if there's an issue. And with Toyota camshaft position sensor wiring, on older Toyotas, they'd have two wires going to it. And on newer ones, they can even have four sometimes. But by far the most common is going to be they have three wires. You have to get the schematic for your particular Toyota to know for sure what's going on, but three wires is very common. And basically what's going on here is the middle wire will be ground. One of the outer wires will have constant voltage coming from the battery. So it'll be like 5 volts, 8 volts, 12 volts, whatever it is. It'll be reference voltage. You have to look at your schematics to know for sure. But if you take a meter and you go from like the middle plug to one of the outer ones, you should be getting voltage when the key's on. You should be getting power to the circuit. And then the third wire is going back to the onboard computer. And every single time a piece of metal goes in front of the sensor, it goes from 0 to 5 volts. And so what many mechanics will do is they'll take a known good sensor, they'll take this harness off, they'll plug it into the known good sensor, they'll go from ground to the signal wire, and then they'll put a piece of metal in front of the sensor and see if it changes from 0 to 5 volts. There's some YouTube videos on that if you want to check it out. And when they do that, they know the whole circuit's working. And one thing to mention is if you're not getting no voltage to this plug, so if you're not getting no power to it, if you go from the ground to one of these outer wires and you're not getting no reference voltage, then when the key is on the on position, then check for a blown fuse. That's a common problem. It'll be inside the engine compartment usually. Sometimes it could be up underneath the dash, but it's usually inside the engine compartment. There'll be a fuse in there like EM2 or SNS or something along those lines. You have to Google your particular Toyota. But this whole circuit is usually on a fuse, and if that fuse blows, you won't get no power to it. So be sure to check for that. Of course, it could also be an open in the wire, but a blown fuse is a common problem. So if you check the wiring, and you know that's good, you know there's no blown fuse or nothing like that, very likely you will have to change out the camshaft position sensor. I'll jump over on Amazon, give you an idea. They're low-cost parts. They're not humongously expensive. This one's $87, but most of the time they're like 20, 30, 40 bucks. There's one for $104. It's just going to depend on what type of Toyota you have. But at this point, it will be time to swap out that camshaft position sensor. And with this code, it's saying sensor A, there likely is going to be two. Like in this image, you're likely going to have two camshaft position sensors. So if you find the camshaft position sensor A and swap that out, the code will probably go away. Some people will go ahead and swap out both. But however you want to do it, this code is pointing to the one that says sensor A. So that's basically it. I just want to give a real quick, brief overview of how you go about fixing a Toyota with the P0349 code. If you have anything to add, please comment down below. If you have any questions, ask me and I'll try to answer them. If this video helps you, please click like, please click subscribe, and have a good day.